Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be showing off the new aliens in action over here. This is one of the newer cards, Alien Buster. His ability is all about whenever he's sent to the graveyard, he's going to be placing 2 counters on a face-up monster on the field. And then during your main phase, except the turn he was sent to the graveyard, you get to banish it and target a card with a counter on it and destroy it. This is one of the newer cards, and there's also a new Link monster, which you guys will see in a moment over here. But the main goal of Aliens, for those of you guys that might be newer to the archetype and don't know how it plays, the whole goal of it is to place A counters, and then you're going to be able to maybe, let's say, special summon, maybe pop a card. But the main boss monster is actually going to be a synchro monster, at least as of right now. And he's able to bounce back your spells and traps, and then you get to recycle them and basically use effects of the cards like a second time. That's like the goal of Aliens. Now, with the newer Link monster, this is Cosmic Pincer Z-Lord. He has the ability to change all of your opponent's monsters that have A counters to defense position and then negate their effects. So that's obviously pretty decent. And then if it's Link summoned, you're able to search out your deck for a card that lets you place A counters on it. So pretty much search out whatever you want in almost the entirety of the deck, minus like, you know, some off random stuff that might be a card that has synergy with it, like let's say Fiendish Chain or Fog Blade. Those would definitely be cards you could still use in Aliens, because you're going to be bouncing back your back row after you use them to basically get double or triple or quadruple of the effects. Basically, you get to reset your stuff again and again, is the goal of it. And then you get to remove 2 A counters from Z-Lord to get an additional normal summon of a reptile, so it helps out. But the main boss monster is still probably Golgar. So this is the synchro monster I mentioned. So once per turn, you get to select any number of face-up spell and trap cards. You return those cards to the owner's hand, and then you distribute new A counters among the monsters on the field equal to the number of cards returned. So basically, you bounce back all of your stuff, well, technically your opponent's too, but then you get to reuse cards like Fiendish Chain, Fog Blade, and some of the alien support as well. I mean, a lot of the stuff technically can linger on the field, and I'll show you guys a duel of that in just a moment over here, but I wanted to give you guys a full gameplay over here. Unfortunately, this card makes it so you can't attack directly for the rest of the turn, but he's on the defensive because aliens can actually hit really hard. You never really want to be like under 3,000 life points, because aliens can convert something to 0, or they can actually boost up their stats to quite high with some of the newer reptile support. Surprisingly enough, all the new Snake Abyss stuff works in aliens, because aliens are actually all reptiles, at least as of right now. And he's going to summon that card, but it doesn't really matter because he's got offering to the Snake TD. Anyways, this is basically like, kind of like an Icarus attack for them. But there's one like way to play the deck, and I want to show you guys 2 different builds. But this one, courtesy of Invasion for his build. I'll give you guys a deck profile of 2 different play styles. So the next one I want to show off is more about control. So you can definitely play the deck multiple different ways. If you want to play like a slower control build, it would definitely make use out of cards like Fiendish Chain, as well as the Phantom Knight's Fog Blade that a lot of you guys probably are familiar with. Now, one card that I think is really good is the Planet Pollutant. This card allows you to tribute an alien monster, and then it's basically Regeki. You destroy all face-up monsters without A counters. That's important. So it makes it really easy to activate. You just pop everything. And then the other bonus with this, until the end of your opponent's 3rd turn after this activation, you can place an A counter each time they summon a monster, which is really, really good because, again, most of the effects of the entirety of the alien archetype is all based off of removing 2 to special summon, removing 2 or 1, depending on what the card is. There's also another awesome card called Code A Ancient Ruins, and each time an alien or alien monster is destroyed, you get to place a counter on it, and once per turn you remove 2 counters from anyone on the field to special summon an alien monster from your graveyard, which is really cool. There's no like negate the effects, or you can only go for level 4 or lower, but a lot of stuff will try to be continuous, like with Fiendish Chain, and like, you know, Ancient Ruins doesn't really matter too much because it's kind of a card that just starts getting free A counters on it. But on top of that, there's the A-Cell Recombination device that lets you target a face-up monster in the field. You get to send the alien monster from your deck to the graveyard and then place A counters on that monster equal to the level of the monster. But remember, the newer alien card also gets to throw on alien A counters whenever it is just sent to the graveyard as well, so that's kind of nice. It really helps you get set up. And then during your main phase, except for the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you get to banish it to add an alien monster from your deck to your hand. So this is another really great card for them. And then also King of Feral Imps happens to be reptile, and lets you add a reptile, so that's a rank 4 card. And then on top of that, this is the card I was talking about, Golgar, where you're able to bounce back all the stuff with like Fiendish Chains, and then Fog Blade, and then also Brainwashing Beam is a continuous. you get to select a monster with at least one A counter, and you get to just take control of it. So it's basically like a trap version of Snatch Steal, so you get to take their monster, again, basically you try to bounce it back, maybe you link them with the monster, whatever the case may be. If you can keep this card and recycle, again, most of these cards you'll get multiple effects, because the idea is to Golgar. Like, unfortunately, Golgar is not a quick effect though, but that ability to remove 2 A counters also exists, and then you can pop a card that your opponent controls. But a lot of times it doesn't really matter. That's gonna help out already enough. So now we're gonna go place more A counters. We're gonna put the newer alien card, the Alien Buster, so we can go back to our main phase and just get that effect to pop a card, maybe even forcing out our negate. So we're going to go place some extra counters on the opponent's stuff, and Ancient Rune's going to go summon another monster. We get to remove 2 counters to summon the Alien Overlord, and this card actually has a pretty cool effect. And if a monster battles, hold on, I got to do this right quick, because he's got 4 A counters on it. This is something important for the effect. So with this card's effect, if a monster with an A counter battles an alien monster, it loses 300 attack and defense for each alien counter. So that's why you gotta watch out sometimes. If they put like 5 or 6 counters on it, you could just lose like a huge amount of stats, and then you can just simply lose because of, again, you just don't have the ability to just take all that damage at once. And there's also the Alien Shock Trooper M-Frame, which technically it's not the newest card. Like, I'm talking about like cards that came out in the last couple days, but this card is also another awesome card. So what it does is a quick effect. You're able to discard a monster and start placing A counters on the monsters distributed as you wished, equal to the original level of the monster. So that really helps out set up getting those more powerful monsters in the graveyard, and then just bringing them back with the Code A Ancient Runes. But you guys get the idea. Phoenix Chain in this with Golgar, you're just bouncing those back. You're protecting Golgar, then you're just going to recycle, and then you can redistribute those counters and pop anything that didn't get rid of Golgar. And on top of that, the Link monster moves everything in defense, and it negates all of their effects. So that's like the play style of the aliens as of right now. Now, would I consider it one of the best decks? Probably not, but it's still pretty cool, and I'm going to go ahead and hop into a brief little deck profile for you guys with both of the builds. So this is the first one via Invasion over here, as this one is playing the Rescue Rabbit. Just lets you go for plays a little bit faster with Unexpected Die. Before going for Z-Lore, you still have options to go and get an additional summon, and this just helps out with the archetype. But we've got 3 copies of Shock Troopers, is just a vanilla though, and then we got Alien Mother, and then 2 copies of Overlord, 3 copies of Buster, 1 copy of Telepath, 2 copies of Alien Kid, and this is another one where if a monster battles, it just loses 300 for each one. And then we have Rescue Rabbit, 2 copies of Null Dreg, so this one just lets you send a Dark Reptile, so it can again work with the rest of the deck over there. And then also if you control no monsters or control Abyss, you can special this card from your graveyard but banish it. And then we got 3 copies of Dog, 3 copies of Lamia, 3 copies of Omnite, which lets you go right into a Golgar. And then we got Unexpected Die, 2 copies of that. Then we got Snake Lily, and then the Mysterious Triangle. 1 copy of Scatterburst, 3 copy of A-Cell, 1 copy of Code A Ancient Runes, 1 copy of Alien Brain, 3 copies of Planet Pollutant Virus, then Interdimensional Warp. It's just like a creature swap for that, but in trap form. Then we got Snake Deity, 2 copies of Mass Hypnosis, and then 2 copies of the Brainwashing Beam. Alright, one thing that I do need to mention real quick is the effect of Mass Hypnosis. Now, we didn't see gameplay of it, but if it goes off, you win. It's a win harder card, but it is really cool. So how it works is, it is also another continuous trap card that says activate only while you control an alien monster. Select and take control up to 3 of your opponent's monsters that have an A counter on them, and it is destroyed during the end phase of the turn it is activated. However, again, with Golgar, you just bounce it back, which is excellent if you're able to use it, but pretty much use it once and you automatically win. I think that this card is definitely a win harder card, but if you can pull it off, it's just like massive style points. Now, in terms of the extra deck, it's just going to be like 2 copies of Golgar, 2 copies of Feral Imps, 3 copies of Z-Lore, and then this one's running 3 copies of M-Frame and 2 copies of Echidna. Obviously, cards like the Nightmare, Phoenix, Cerberus, so you can definitely throw those into the deck as well. So feel free to go and add those. This is the next one. Oh, this one was by Invasion, and then this one is by TRF. So big shout out to both of those guys. We got Alien Overlord, and we have 3 copies of Buster. In this one, we got Alien Telepath, then Alien Hypno, 3 copies of Alien Kid, and then we have the Alien Omnite, 2 copies of that one. And this one's running 3 copies of Snake Lily. Lets you go ahead and send, and then again, if you have 5 of the reptiles with different names, you're able to go and special summon one of them, which is really good. Then we have 3 copies of Extrav, 3 copies of Duality, 3 copies of Mysterious Triangle, 3 copies of the A-Cell Rune Combination Device, 2 copies of Code 8 Ancient Ruins, 3 copies of the Planet Pollutant, 3 copies of Fog Blade, 3 copies of Fiendish Chain, 3 copies of Brainwashing Beam. Now this one's running 3 copies of Golgar, 3 copies of King of Feral Imps, Zulor, M-Frame, and Echidna. Obviously with this one you definitely want 3 copies of each due to extravagance, as the deck definitely needs some sort of like draw power to really get it started. You could even maybe throw in a lure. There are quite a few dark ones if you want to play it. Keep that in mind as well. But anyways, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for the deck profile as well as the gameplay. But you guys can let me know your thoughts on it down below on the new aliens. You guys think they're going to be any good later down the line? You guys can let me know in the comment section below. But thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, want to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and you'll definitely see more. But take care. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and I'm out. Peace.